After the extinction of the dinosaurs, there are very few groups that manage to take the top role of predator after them. But out of the many groups of carnivores that ruled, not one compared to the hyenadonts. Unlike the giant reptiles of the past or even cats or dogs, which are our apexes of the modern day, we have nothing to compare the hyenadonts to. Unlike their namesake, they're not actually related to hyenas, but are actually an extinct group of placental mammals that may be extinct in our modern day, but we have a close relative to the extinct group. Carnivorans are a group that's related to the hyenadonts, which may include bears, cats, or dogs, and also being related to the sister group that include modern-day pangolins, which these three groups are under the wider group known as ferae. You may be asking yourself, though, what exactly is a hyenadont? Hyenadonts were a large, very diverse group that could have ranged in size from a fox to most modern polar bears, with them existing at a time 22 million years ago within the Miocene epoch in modern-day North America and Eurasia. While not to the same extent as the dinosaurs, these animals would have still been extremely dangerous to encounter in the wild if they were still around. Today we're going to be exploring the three largest known hyenadonts to ever live. First off, starting with the smallest. The first up being Hyenodon gigas. The first thing you think of when you think of hyenadonts. Pretty much the face of all hyenadonts. To give an example of scale, we're going to be using Kasane Teto as our size comparison, with her standing at 5'2" or 132 centimeters. We can use this to compare how large the hyenodon is, standing at 3'3" at the shoulder or 100 centimeters. This would put it at a similar shoulder height to modern gray wolves or spotted hyenas. But unlike gray wolves or hyenas, this animal was in a different weight class entirely, weighing up to 500 kilograms or 1,100 pounds. Within life, these large animals would have used ambush tactics similar to modern cats, but instead of holding their prey down, they would have used their large crushing jaws, with estimates of their bite force being from 600 to 1,200 psi. This bite force estimate is comparable to modern animals such as lions on the lower end, and having a bite force up to 650, and on the higher end being more comparable to modern-day polar bears. This high bite force would have helped them hunt large animals, such as Embellotherium, a large hornless rhino-like animal that would have weighed up to 3,500 kilograms or 7,700 pounds. This weight would be comparable to modern-day hippos, white rhinos, or even small female Asian elephants. High bite forces would have helped Hyenodon gigas hunt larger animals such as juvenile Paraceratherium or Embellotherium. Hyenodon gigas was found in Mongolia, being one of the few members to be found in Asia, with most other members of the Hyenodon genus being found throughout North America. Next species up is Hyenaloris solzeri. With this animal being our second pick, I have to admit that Hyenaloris solzeri is close in size to Hyenodon gigas, with these two being tied for third and second place, with both species having an estimate of 3'3" at the shoulder or 100 centimeters, with this species being more widespread in Africa and Asia during the Miocene. With both it and the contemporary species, they would have lived mostly similar lifestyles, with them being specialists of large animals and pretty much doing mostly the same things. Due to the differences in environment, these two animals would have had very different prey, with some of them pretty much hunting proboscideans and rhinos, unlike the previous Hyenodon gigas. While this species is very similar to Hyenodon gigas, it is far outclassed by our first place pick, and is a very different animal than first place. First place is taken by Megasotherium, the largest hyenodont to ever roam Earth, even with estimates showing them to be larger than any known bear species to have ever lived at 2,900 pounds or 1,300 kilograms. This estimate is more comparable to modern-day walrus. The sizes of this animal are very debated, with estimates putting it at 5'9" or 1.8 meters. These animals would have most definitely hunted larger proboscideans and rhinos, using a crushing bite force at around 5,700 newtons. This animal was in a league of its own compared to other mammals. And it is a show of how mammals took the role of apex predator after dinosaurs went extinct. Some of this animal's prey sources would have included proboscideans in Africa, its home range, such as Gomphotheria or Prodentotherium, which Gomphotherium alone weighing up to 6.7 tons, which is comparable to a modern-day elephant. This animal is very deserving of its name, meaning the greatest beast. Clearance between its jawbones show that it may have used its jaws to bite into prey's limbs, such as their arms or legs, and pretty much immobilize them. The Miocene was tough for this group, though. Changing climates and reduced prey were a big factor leading to these animals' extinction. It was a lot of factors combined, compounding that caused their animals' extinction. One of these being the new amphicyonids, which were more adaptable and pretty much better at hunting than the previous hyenadonts. These animals outcompeted them pretty much into extinction, and pairing that with climate change and prey availability being reduced, it was just their end. The primary thing in terms of climate change that caused them to go extinct was the difference in environment. Their environment quickly turned from large woodlands to very arid terrain and savannas like how we see modern-day Africa. This caused prey populations to go down, and thus the Megasotherium also died out. These animals are truly a testament to how mammals pretty much succeeded after the extinction of the dinosaurs, and how we see them in the modern day. That will be it, and thank you to my good friend Tay for giving me the idea for this video. I appreciate all the support I can get, and please leave any ideas for future videos in the comments if you want to see anything. That will be it for now. Bye.